Listen, on this show, we tried to tell you. We got T-shirts that says, we tried to tell you, FAFO 2025. Every single day, we kept warning people about this. We kept warning them about Project 2025. We kept warning this. Look, we ran this ad for the Lincoln Project that spelled out explicitly what will happen when this con man, when this thug actually returns to the Oval Office.
November 5th, 2024. Donald Trump defeats a divided and dispirited Democratic campaign. On January 20th, 2025, Donald Trump is sworn in as the 47th President of the United States. Unfortunately, he keeps his promises. Trump seizes control of a divided government, signing hundreds of executive orders implementing Project 2025. Trump replaces over 50,000 civil servants with hardline MAGA loyalists. The federal oath of office now requires declaring loyalty to the president, not the Constitution. Protected by the Supreme Court's grant of total immunity for official acts, Donald Trump orders the Department of Justice to arrest members of the January 6th Commission, current and former DOJ employees, and political opponents for treason, election interference, and conspiracy. He declares it to be an official act. Trump ends birthright citizenship by executive order and turns millions of American-born citizens into illegal aliens overnight. Mass deportations begin. Hundreds of thousands, including legal U.S. residents and American citizens, are imprisoned in newly built camps. Protests erupt. Trump addresses the nation from the Oval Office, invoking the Insurrection Act and declaring the protesters a danger to American sovereignty. He orders the National Guard to use deadly force to suppress the protests. In the wake of the bloody violence, Trump declares nationwide martial law, awarding himself new powers under the freshly signed American Sovereignty Protection Order, which defines protest of immigration policies as non-protected speech and a threat to national security. Governors in New York, California, Illinois, and elsewhere declare their opposition, promising to refuse compliance in their states. Trump orders their arrests. Trump pardons every January 6th attacker, including those who assaulted the police, and in a White House ceremony issues a new presidential medal honoring them. Many are given jobs in his administration. The Department of Education is renamed the Department of American Values and mandates a nationwide Christian nationalist curriculum for all schools receiving federal aid. Trump, joined by Speaker Mike Johnson and evangelical leaders, announces that the Department of Health and Human Services has reclassified mifepristone, making it illegal to distribute or prescribe, as well as new HHS regulations that make IVF treatments impossible to legally administer. Trump reverses one campaign promise by declaring a national abortion ban by executive order. Challenges to his authority are rejected by the Supreme Court, which has seen new appointments from Trump after it was expanded to 12 justices. He signs an executive order removing abortion records from HIPAA privacy regulations and announces a new federal data sharing program so states can monitor women's periods. Thousands are detained while crossing state lines under suspicion of seeking an abortion. Trump's acting Secretary of Defense, a disgraced ex-general, fires over 400 generals and admirals, leaving the military leaderless. Other Trump appointees purge the ranks of the CIA, FBI, and Department of Justice. By executive order, Trump withdraws the United States from NATO and ends Pentagon cooperation with Ukraine. Russian tanks enter Kyiv. Vladimir Zelensky is killed. It is announced that Trump will run for a third term, claiming he was unfairly cheated in the 2020 election. His Supreme Court ultimately agrees with this interpretation, paving the way for Trump's 2028 re-election. If you hear all this and believe it isn't possible, then ask yourself, what did you believe was impossible just 8 years ago? This isn't a fantasy. It's Trump's plan, and he's counting on you to believe it couldn't happen.
Again, we tried to tell you these things were going to happen. We told you this man was petty. We told you he was shameful. We told you he was pathetic. And guess what? Some of y'all still voted for him. And so for the people who are like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Why? The thug literally said it. He signed a series of executive orders, getting rid of all DEI. I just sat here and read, just hold on. I just sat here and read a tweet, y'all, that was unbelievable. It said, buried amidst all of the, this is Senator Tina Smith. She said, buried in the flurry of executive orders last night is one that halts all funding from the bipartisan infrastructure law. Yes, the law that Republicans and Democrats came together to pass that fixes our roads, modernizes old bridges, makes drinking water safer. Now remember, this asshat for 4 years, Infrastructure Week, never passed a bill. One of his first actions. We want to talk about, again, the kind of actions that you see taking place. How petty is he? Oh, John Bolton, who the Iranians were trying to assassinate Donald Trump. Oh, because Bolton was a critic of Donald Trump said, that's it. The Secret Service protection that Biden gave you, revoked. Bolton said he got a phone call. He told CNN's Jim Costa, told him, got a call 11:30 last night from the Secret Service saying your Secret Service is being revoked at noon today. Oh, how about this one here? Go to my iPad. Just 10 days ago, this portrait, let me restart it. This portrait of General Mark Milley, okay? This former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, this was just unveiled 10 days ago. Guess what? Moments after the swearing in, rejected, taken down. That's right. So his portrait will not be in the Pentagon for the next 4 years. It goes on and on and on. But we told y'all this was going to happen. And guys, the lower third is wrong, as we tried to tell you, not you. We tried to tell you. Bringing my pound, Dr. Mustafa Santiago Ali, former senior advisor for environmental justice, the EPA out of D.C. Also joining us is Joe Richardson, civil rights attorney out of L.A. We'll be joined later by Joy Cheney, founder, Joy Strategies out of D.C. Again, Mustafa, nobody can be surprised what this thug is doing. He said what he was going to do. His supporters, they cheered that. They loved it. They threw their arms up. And so guess what? He's doing exactly what the thug said he was going to do.
Yeah, what was that old adage? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I mean, he was very clear of the things that he was going to do. Everybody has been clear. Donald Trump shared exactly what he was going to do. Project 2025 said exactly what they wanted to see happen. Agenda 47 was very clear about these things. So I don't know why anyone is surprised. Maybe they think that no one could possibly ever stoop this low, or to have no forethought about how this will overall impact our country and our standing in the world. But he doesn't care about that. He's fine. The people that he surrounds himself with are extremely wealthy individuals, so they're going to be fine. But the people who will be hurt are everyday folks. Of course, our most vulnerable communities will take many, many hits. We will lose lives. Folks will get sick. They'll end up losing homes, all these different types of things. But the people who think that they won't be impacted, everybody's always like, well, that could never happen here. And then it does. And what you'll find is that those folks who are in the middle class, they will also have huge amounts of impacts that are going on because they didn't pay attention and because they thought it was the others who would be the ones who would have to carry the weight for the various things that Donald Trump has already said he's going to do through his executive orders and the things that are coming day after day after day. So, unfortunately, you end up getting what you don't vote for or what you vote for. For those who sat on the couch and didn't vote, you get it too. And for those who actually went out there and cast their vote for somebody who's told you that he doesn't care about your communities and he doesn't care about the future for your children, now you've got to actually deal with that as well.
Joe?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of bought this. This is what you bought. My mom used to say, you made your bed, now you get to lay in it. And so, you have a situation where there's all kinds of things that the president could do to seek to exact revenge. There's no discussion, if you'll notice, about prices, the things that actually people, well-intentioned people, they got it wrong, but well-intentioned people were hoping that he'd do. No indications related to that. If anything, it's the opposite. What's the point of stopping funding from the infrastructure law? Maybe just despite that Biden got it done, but he didn't. What's the point with letting all of these folks off related to this insurrection? Just letting the folks off that went along with him and did basically what he told them to do. This is just the beginning, and you're going to have to kind of fasten your seatbelts. Because there's no way that the things that he is doing are not going to affect regular people. There's no way that you could actually think you could actually stand next to Donald Trump, whether you're the administration or whether you are a citizen that voted for him, and really think with certainty that he would never do something that has the potential to hurt you, if not devastate you. And that's just kind of where we are, and people are going to have to find out the hard way.
Oh yeah, they're gonna find the hard way. And again, I'm not shocked when it went down yesterday. It's not like people were texting me in group chats. They were going, all 1,500. I was like, oh yeah, sweeping pardon, full, absolutely. And Lincoln Product's right. Oh, don't be shocked if this man invites them to the White House for a big lawn party. Don't be surprised. Hell, he might literally give all of them the Presidential Medal of Freedom. I wouldn't put none of that past him, Mustafa, because this is his army. These are his thugs. This is his militia. And people need to be concerned, because what he's saying is, if people do harm in my name, I'm going to hook them up.
Well, he's got to feed the base, right? So, he's got his soldiers, right, that are out there. These folks, these insurrectionists, so of course we know are domestic terrorists. He has got to continue to feed the base. So, congressional medals, but he's got to also continue to do the most outrageous things, because that is what they signed on for and what they expect from him. So when you see these actions that he said he was going to do around immigration, separation of families, trying to, do some things around the 14th Amendment, he gets that, from previous presidents, who have done some really just amazingly egregious things who are for racists. So when you look at all these different types of things that he has to do, when he is willing to destroy the environment, when he's willing to go after environmental injustices, even though he knows lower wealth white communities will also be impacted by dirtier air and dirtier water, when he tries to strip away education, he knows who's going to be impacted by that. So he's got to continue to feed the beast that he has created and the beast that evidently he is. We've just got to make sure that we are organizing and mobilizing and, utilizing the few opportunities that actually will exist in the court system. And we've got to make sure that we're also building community, so that when folks are being impacted, they're not out there by themselves, and that we fill the gap until we can make changes happen. So we've got to understand that we still have power. It's less, it's harder to get our arms around, but we can't just throw our arms up in the air and say we're just going to allow these egregious things to happen. We have to stand in community.
Oh, absolutely. And so it's just about being real, about being honest. I think that what you're doing here is people just don't understand. I do want to bounce this off of y'all. I just saw this here. So do everybody remember when Vice President Kamala Harris was swearing in the senators? And so Deb Fisher of Nebraska was sworn in, and her asshole of a husband did this here. Watch this here.
In the middle, scoot over a little. No. It's okay, we're white. We're gonna fight. Don't worry. Okay. We're ready. Okay.
Do you solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States?
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for your work. Thank you. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, sure.
Okay. That way, just a little bit. There you go. Thank you so much. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Hold it. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay.
And of course, he was just quite arrogant, not even wanting to shake her hand, walking off. Well, CNN's Edward Isaac Dovere posted this here. Give me 1 second. Let me close this box. I saw this story and I said, ooh, I just love this here. Headline, go to my iPad. At White House tea, Imhoff rebuffed the man who didn't shake Harris's hand. It said here, at the ceremonial tea at the White House before the motorcades head to the U.S. Capitol, the former second gentleman, Doug Imhoff, refused a handshake from Bruce Fisher, the husband of inauguration co-chair Nebraska Senator Deb Fisher. A person familiar with the interaction tells CNN. The tense moment came after a violent exchange, blah, 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 blah. It says, let's see here. It was still on Imhoff's mind on Monday. Why would you try to shake my hand, he told Bruce Fisher, when you wouldn't shake my wife's hand? It says the vice president and the senator were not involved in the interaction, even though Bruce Fisher did later make his way back over to apologize, the source told CNN. And by the time they headed to the car to the Capitol, tempers had cooled and there was a cordial conversation which touched on golf, among other things. I'm with Doug 100%, Joe. Your punk ass disrespect my wife? No, I ain't shaking your punk ass hand.
Doug, listen, Doug is a real one. You remember when they were on the stage that time, that person walked up to him and you saw the look on Doug's face. Doug was looking like Thug Life. He ran up there in front of the security. So, Doug is down for his wife now. I love me some Doug now. But this is what lets you know kind of what you're dealing with. You've got this man who would actually have enough nerve not to even shake the vice president's hand and then go to her husband like everything is everything. No problem at all. So he doesn't even see them as one. He doesn't even see them. He doesn't even see them as God would see them, right? Those of us that are church-going folk, and I give you 10-1, he showed up at church on time on Sunday. I bet you, okay? So this lets you know kind of what we're dealing with. But I'm glad that Doug was down for his wife like that. That's the way we all should be. The only thing I guess he could have done is, I guess he could have punched him or something, but he was acting cool. But he asked him, why would I shake your hand when you wouldn't shake my wife's hand? So I appreciate that, but it lets you know what it is that we're dealing with. You try to do things. This woman's been vice president for 4 years. She's done what she's done professionally. She's probably forgot more about politics than this man knows. And this man somehow believes that he shouldn't be shaking his hand and shaking her hand and embarrassing his wife that way.
Here's my whole deal, Mustafa. I ain't down with the bullshit. That's how you want to roll now, bro. You ain't come and shake my hand. It ain't gonna happen. See,
that's real talk.
I just don't believe in normalizing this crap. I don't believe that you get to show your ass and I then have to be the one, it's decorum and the way things are supposed to be. Nah, Mustafa, those rules are gone. Those days are gone. These people, just like Trump sat here, apparently he called inspirational the letter that Joe Biden left him in the drawer. Did Trump leave a letter for Joe Biden? When Trump came to the White House, I'm sorry, I don't recall that meeting taking place after the election in 2020. Trump's punk ass, along with Melania's trifling ass, didn't even come to the inauguration. See, I'm sorry. Look, there are other people who are like, oh no, from a president, it's the institution. We must do these things. No, Obama and Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton coming to the inauguration and Trump's old trifling ass people are booing them from the rafters. Gross disrespect. These folks don't show respect, but always want somebody to give them respect.
Yeah, that's because folks let them punk them all the time. You know what time it is. I mean, if you grew up in the streets, you already know if you let somebody punk you one time, they're going to come back and do it again and again and again. And each time they're going to try and take more of your dignity, more of your soul, more of your resources, whatever it might be. And that's why I appreciate Michelle Obama, because she said, you know what, I'm not even dealing with this foolishness. If y'all want to go ahead and play them silly games, then you go right ahead. And the other part, too, is I appreciate Doug, too, because if you step to my family, we're going to have a problem. So I'm glad that it didn't escalate to that because, as my mother would say, just because somebody is uncouth doesn't mean that you have to be. But, I believe from my daddy's side, sometimes you just got to hem somebody up and let them know what time it is.
I'm letting you know my ass petty. I'm petty. I'm going to give you all of it back. I done told y'all the story when I was at the TV anchors meeting when the thug was there last time. And when he came into the room, all the TV anchors moved towards him. Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President. They were shaking his hand. I was sitting there. I was that Simpson meme. I fell back into the bushes. And he had to come my way. And I'm like, listen, I said, when he come to me, I said, I can't call him Mr. Trump. I said, Mr. President. Then I'm like, I can't call him Mr. Trump. So when he finally got to me and stuck his hand out, oh, good to see you. I went, hi. That's all he can get from me. I'm sorry. I'm not going to give you that respect that you have not earned when you disrespect the office on a consistent basis. So folk need to understand we're going to see a whole bunch of this nonsense over the next 4 years, but that's what we're dealing with. But this is also what happens when a lot of y'all sat y'all ass on the couch and didn't vote. And even in places where Vice President Kamala Harris won, like in Virginia, a whole bunch of people still sat their ass on the couch. So that's why we got these shirts right here. We got them made up. I'm gonna wear the shirt tomorrow. Go ahead and pull the graphic up. That's right there. It said, don't blame me. I voted for the black woman. So if y'all want to get that shirt, y'all can go to rolandmartin.creator-spring.com or go to the Black Star Network to get y'all merchandise. But don't blame me. I voted for the black woman. Support the work that we do. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. You heard what we just talked about there. Folks, I can't reiterate this enough. Listen to me clearly. I cannot reiterate this enough. When you've got technology companies running scared, when you've got legacy media not doing their job, when you've got black-owned media that is disintegrated, now is more than ever for us to have independent media that cares about the truth, that is willing to say what needs to be said. So when you support Roland Martin Unfiltered, this show, when you support the Black Star Network, you're not just supporting me, you're supporting the other shows. Our goal is to add 2 more shows this year. We want additional shows. We want more weekly and daily shows because we want to be able to speak truth to power. We want to be able to say what is necessary where other people are scared. And when you are scared, when you're looking over your shoulder, oh my God, that advertising contract is not going to come in. Well, guess what? A lot of these major ad agencies, they're not even supporting us anyway. You know, in 6 years of doing this show, Group M hasn't done a damn thing with us. Publicis hasn't done anything with us. You've got Horizon, you've got all of these folks, they haven't done jack. And so we are calling it like we see it, and we're speaking truth. And unlike some of these other so-called progressives and people who believe in truth, I'm not running around trying to kiss MAGA ass and kiss Trump's ass. I won't be going to Mar-a-Lago, not for a damn thing. And so this is about us being able to speak truth. So when you support this show and this network with your resources, that is exactly what is happening because we are trying to build something that is bigger and broader, and actually it has the courage to say what needs to be said, even when it makes other folk uncomfortable. If you want to contribute giving Cash App, use the Stripe QR code. This is it right here. And if you are listening, simply go to blackstarnetwork.com to check it out. Also, if you want to see your check and money order, some of y'all old school, we understand that. See your check and money order to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C., 2003 7-0196. PayPal, R. Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com, Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. And again, folks, we've got some 4 million social media followers. If only 20,000 of our fans contribute at least $50 each, which comes out to $4.19 a month, 13 cents a day, that's $1 million that allows us to be able to continue to build, to add these shows and do the work that's required. So your support is needed. So please join our Bring the Funk fan club today. If you've not already joined, if you have given to us in the past, please renew your commitment because it's important that we support Black-owned media because Black-owned media matters.